Hi guys, if you are viewing my channel first time, please subscribe to my channel for more updates on embedded systems. Today we are mainly discussing about on serial communication. It is also one of the feature in our 8051 microcontroller. And today we are mainly going to discuss what and all the important registers in our 8051 microcontroller. By using these registers, how we are going to transmit the data from the microcontroller, how we are going to receive the data to the microcontroller serially, that we are going to discuss mainly on today. Computer transfer data in two ways, serial transfer and another is a parallel transfer. In case of parallel transfer, often 8 or more data lines are used to transfer the data to a device that is only a few feet away. Okay, mainly if I want to transmit 8 bit of data at a time, then we need 8 data lines. If I want to transmit 16 bit at a time, then we need 16 bit data lines. For example, if I want to transmit a data over long distance using this parallel communication, the cost is very more. That's why we are going for the serial communication. To transfer data to a device located in many meters away, the serial method is used. The data is sent one bit at a time. Okay, in case of serial communication, we have only one data line, and by using this data line, we are transmitting bit by bit at a time from the sender to receiver. And here mainly today we are interested to discuss mainly on serial transfer. And the serial data communication uses two methods: synchronous method transfer a block of data at a time, and asynchronous method transfer a single byte at a time. Okay, here we'll discuss mainly difference between the synchronous and asynchronous. Okay, mainly synchronous method. Okay, mainly the serial communication we are going to achieve using the both the methods. We can transmit using the synchronous method and also asynchronous method. Okay, synchronous method means this both sender and receiver both should be synchronized with the clock, then only I am able to send block of data at a time. Okay, here the clock is used to synchronize between the sender and receiver, then only I can send this block of data. And in case of asynchronous method, and here we need start and stop bit in between a byte of data. Okay, here in case of asynchronous method, we are not using any of the clock. We need start bit and stop bit to identify the start of the communication and end of the communication. And here this is the mainly difference between the synchronous and asynchronous communication. Here we are transmitting byte at a time, and here we are transmitting block of data at a time. This is the mainly difference between the synchronous and asynchronous, and we are mainly interested about the asynchronous communication today. Why? Because our 8051 follows the asynchronous communication. It is possible to write the software to use either of these method, but the program can be a tedious and long. And there are special IC chips made by many manufacturers for the serial communication. Few ICs are made with UART and few ICs are made with USART. In our 8051 IC made with this UART, Universal Asynchronous Receiver and Transmitter, and we are using asynchronous type of transmission. We are transmitting byte at a time with the start and stop bit. But few of the ICs having this USART, we are using the clock to synchronize between the this sender and receiver. Then only we are sending this block of data in our USART, Universal Synchronous and Asynchronous Receiver and Transmitter Communication. Okay, but we are mainly interested on this UART. Why? Because our 8051 follows this UART communication. That's why we are mainly interested on this UART. Okay, here we'll discuss the types of transmission. We have the simplex, off duplex, and full duplex. This is simplex, only one direction, one way of communication. For example, keyboard to the PC, it is a simplex communication, only one direction. There is no PC to the keyboard. Okay, this is a simplex communication. The other method is off duplex and full duplex are the both way we can communicate. But here, in case of off duplex, only one at a time. I can send or receive only once at a time, one at a time. But in case of full duplex, we can send or receive both at once. These are mainly difference between the off duplex and full duplex. This is about the type of transmission in our communication. And we'll discuss about a protocol. What is the protocol? A protocol is a set of rules agreed by the both sender and receiver. How the data is packed between the sender and receiver, how many bits consist to a character, and when the data begins and end. Okay, this is all the terms telling about the protocol. And asynchronous serial data communication is widely used character oriented transmission. As we discussed here, asynchronous communication is a byte oriented, nothing but we are calling it as character oriented. Each character placed in between a start and stop bits, this is called a framing. Okay, this one byte in between we are placing one start bit, and stop bit in between we are placing this character. Okay, that's why we are calling it as completely one start bit data, and stop bit we are calling it as framing. And block oriented data transfer uses a synchronous method. Okay, if I want to transfer a block oriented data, then we need to use this synchronous method. And the start bit always one bit, and the stop bit can be one bit or two bits. Okay, in our UART 8051 microcontroller we are using only one stop bit and one start bit. Okay, here that stop bit can be one or two. Okay, in our asynchronous communication we'll see how the communication start with the always start bit with the logic 0, and always communication stop with the stop bit with the logic 1 bit. Okay, here the logic 0 telling us that communication is started, logic 1 means communication stopped. Okay, here in between I am just transmitting character oriented transmission. Our asynchronous communication is a character oriented transmission. Here I am transmitting a is my character, I am transmitting this data, and I need to represent with the binary 01000001. And this my hex value is 41. I just represented with the just binary 0100 is a 4, and 1 is 0001. And the LSB I'm just transmitting first, and the until MSB, and this is my end of the communication. Okay, this is the way we are transmitting the data from the sender to receiver, always with the asynchronous method. Always we are starting the communication with the start bit, ending the communication with the stop bit, and in between we are placing the data. This is our asynchronous communication. And here extension to the start and stop bit, assuming that we are transmitting a text file of the ASCII characters using one stop bit, we have total 10 bits for each character. Okay, here if you see 8 bit of the data and two extra, one start bit one stop bit, we are transmitting 10 bits in each transmission. That's why here this gives a 25% of overhead, that is 8 bit character with the two extra bits. Okay, here completely out of this 8 bits we are adding two more extra bit. That's why we are creating 25% of the overhead in our serial communication. In some system, in order to maintain data integrity, polarity of the character is included in the data frame. Okay, here in our data frame now we consider it as 10 bits. Okay, if I add the parity also one of the bit, then we are considering it as totally 11 bits. Okay, UART chip allows the programming of the parity bit, odd, even, and no parity. And finally, if I use the in few UART communication, we might use this parity also, totally 11 bit of UART communication. And here we'll discuss on the data transfer. Okay, here we'll discuss mainly difference between the bits per second and baud rate. Okay, here the bits per second is the number of bits transmitted per second is the bits per second. Here the baud rate is number of symbols transmitted per second is the baud rate. Okay, whenever the one symbol equal to one bit, then bits per second and baud rate are the same. Okay, these are mainly difference between the bits per second and baud rate. Bits per second is the number of bits transmitted per second. Baud rate is the number of symbols transmitted per second. Whenever the symbol one symbol equal to one bit, then both bit per second and baud rates are both are same. These are mainly terminologies in our communication. Okay, next we'll discuss about the RS-232 standards. For example, if I want to transmit a distance over a long distance, then we need this RS-232 universal standard voltage logics. A interfacing standard is RS-232 was a set by the Electronic Industry Association EIE in 1960. This is a universal standard. If I want to communicate between the microcontroller to the PC or the microcontroller to the external any serial communication devices, then we need this RS-232 standards mandatory. Okay, the standard was set long before the advent of the TTL logic family. Its input and output voltages are not TTL compatible. Okay, here usually the RS-232, a logic 1 represents by -32 -25 volts, and while a logic 0 bit is +32 +25, making -32 +3 is undefined voltages. Okay, this is the RS-232 standard. Logic 1, our TTL logic 1 means 5 volts, and in RS-232 it is converting like -3 to -25. In our TTL logic 0 means 0 volts, it is converting like my +3 to +25 volts. Okay, this is the mainly standard we should follow if I want to transmit the data over a long distance of communication. Okay, this RS232 logics we need to just understand. Logic 1 means our microcontroller logic 1 means 5 volts, and we are representing and we are converting it as minus 3 to minus 25, and logic 0 volts we are converting it as plus 3 to plus 25 volts. This is the standard. Okay, if I want to convert to this standard, we need max T3, max 232 IC, that we will discuss in the next slides. Okay, how we are going to convert to the TTL to the RS232 standard, that we are going to discuss in the next slides. Okay, here is our DB9 connector. Okay, normally if I want to connect to the PC, this DB9 mainly we are using. Since not all the pins are used in PC cable, IBM introduced DB9 version of the serial IO standard. Okay, DB9, this is introduced by IBM, and here we have the DB9 means 9 pins, and here mainly in our 805 and microcontroller we are using only the 3 pins: receive data RxD pin, TxD pin, and ground. Only 2, 3, and 5 pins are we are using, and other pins are control pins. Here data carrier detect. For example, we need to test the cable whether it's working or not using this DCD, data carrier detect, and this is for the data serially. If I want to receive, I can use this pin. If I want to transmit the data serially, I can use this pin. And data terminal ready, for example whether the each microcontroller or PC whether it is ready or not, by using to identify by using this signal. And signal ground. Okay, this is for the to connect the common ground, we are using this pin. And data set ready, for example if I want to transmit the data ready between the sender and receiver, mainly this signal can be used. And requested to send the data, RTS means requested to send the data from the sender to receiver, mainly this signal can be used. Clear to send, for example whatever the previous this is for the next data send, we are using to this clear the previous data, so that this clear to send. And ring indicator, in few of the communication we saw some ring indicator without data exchanging, then we will get the ring indicator before the data transmission, then we will get this ring. In case of in our telecommunication we used to get the ring before our communication. This is the mainly to identify the ring. Okay, this is mainly our DB9 standard in our communications. But in our serial communication we are using mainly RxD pin, TxD pin, and ground pin. Okay, this is our RS232 standard. And here we'll just talk about the DTE, means data terminal equipment, either microcontroller or the PC we are calling it as data terminal equipment. Data communication equipment we are calling it as modems. Okay, it will just convert from the one format to another format, then we are using it as modems. Okay, here if you see, always the DTE to another DTE, always the cross connection. Okay, for example the one microcontroller is sending the data, other microcontroller should receive the data. And similar way other microcontroller is sending the data, the other microcontroller should receive the data. These are mainly the cross connection between the TXD or XD, and the common ground between the two DTEs, data terminal equipments. And as we discussed here, if I want to convert the TTL to the RS232 logics. Okay, if I want to transmit over the long distance communication, this DB9 connection will be used, and a similar connection will be used at the receiver side. Okay, here microcontroller max 232 DB9. Again, the receiver end also I should use the DB9 pin. Again, max 232. Again, I will connect the another microcontroller. Okay, this is the way of communication between the microcontrollers or the PC. From here also we can connect to the PC. Okay, here we need to understand what is the RS232 logics. For example, if I want to convert the TTL to RS232 logics, as we discussed here, for example, this logic 1 should be converted to the minus 3 volts to the 25 volts, and the logic 0 means 0 volts should be converted to the plus 3 to plus 25 volts. Mainly here we are using the max 232 IC. Here the 11 pin I am connecting to the TXD pin, 12 pin I am connecting to the RxD pin. And here we have the two conversions. We have one TTL2 and RS232. Again we have 10 and 9 for the other UART, we can connect that this 10 and 9, and 7 and 8 we can connect to the another DB9 pin. Okay, here we have the in max 232 we have the two TTL2 two RS232 conversions. For example, in our 8051 we have only one UART. We are using this 11 and 12 pin and 14 and 13 pin. Okay, here this TTL inputs I am giving it here, and it will convert to the RS232. And again this RS232 TTL, it will convert it will convert the both the ways, vice versa. Okay, it will convert to the TTL to RS232. Whenever I am transmitting the data, whenever I am receiving the data, it will convert to the RS232 TTL. This is a both way conversion. Okay, it will convert from the this voltages to this voltages. Logic 1 it will represent as -3 to -25. Logic 0, 0 volts, the TTL side, it will be converted to the +3 volts to 5 volts. These are mainly to convert the TTL to RS232 logics. RS232 TTL, we are using this MAX 232 IC. Okay, based on by using these capacitors only, we are converting the voltages to the -3 to -25 volts, and +3 to +25 volts. Whatever the TTL logic, logic 0 to 0 means 0 volts, logic 5 means 5 volts. And these TTL logics we are converting to -3 to -25, +3 to +25 by using this MAX 232 IC. Okay, here we have the 8051 microcontroller. We need to connect this MAX 232 IC. At the end we need to connect DB9 connector. Similarly, if I want to connect another microcontroller, then we need again DB9 connector, MAX 232 IC. Again at the end we need to connect the microcontroller. This is a way we are communicating using the standard or RS232 communication. And here we'll discuss the standard baud rates. Is a 110 is the baud rate, and 150, 300, 600, 1200, 2400, 4800, 9600 is the universal standard, and 19200 also one of the universal standard. And here these are the standards. If I want to communicate with the PC, always we should set this these many baud rates, but usually we are using this 9600 baud rate, and we'll see how we are going to calculate the baud rate in our serial communication. Okay, here in our external communication we are always giving the 11.0592 megahertz, and this is our machine cycle frequency, always divided by 12 is my 921.6 kilohertz, and this is my UART is dividing by 32. The finally I will get the 28800 hertz to the serial communication, to the UART communication. Okay, this is my UART frequency. If I want to operate with the specified baud rate, mainly this UART communication will be used. Okay, mainly for example, if I want to communicate with the any device, first we need to set the baud rate, and after that we can able to communicate infinite times. Okay, here if I want to calculate the particular baud rate, for example, this is my frequency, final frequency to the UART 28800. Here I am dividing with 3, then I will get the 9600 baud rate. Okay, here I am just dividing with the particular value so that I will get the baud rate. Okay, here frequency divided by I'm just dividing with the 2. Here I am telling us that -3 I need to load with the th1 value. Okay, here we need to discuss about the auto reload mode. Whenever this timer is overflowed, okay, here we'll discuss about the auto reload mode. Whenever the THX value is overloaded, TLX value is overloaded, automatically this TH1 value will be copied to the TL1 value. Okay, this is the mainly working of the auto reload mode. Here I am loading the TH1 value is FD. Okay, we'll discuss more on once again. Okay, here this FD -3 means here FD to FE, FE to FF, FF to 0. My timer is this TL value will be loaded. Okay, here the th value always loaded with ff. Whenever the tl value overflowed from the fd to 00, fd to fe, fe to ff, ff to 0, my tl1 value is overflow, automatically this th1 value will be copied to the tl1. Okay, using this fd only. Okay, here -3 means fd. Why? Because fd to fe, fe to ff, ff to 00 overflow, th1 value will be overflowed. Okay, here that's why we are loading with th1 value with -3. Okay, if I am dividing with the 12, I got the 2400 baud rate. That's why I am always minus with the 12. Okay, f4 to ff is 11, and ff to the 0 totally 12. That's why I am always doing the -12, nothing but f4. Here similar way divided by 24 means e8. Okay, I will show you another method to calculate the this th1 value, and in the next slides. Okay, here this is for the understanding. Whenever I am just dividing with the 3, I will get the 9600 baud rate. Whenever I am dividing with the 12, I will get the 2400. This is my normal frequency at the UART, 28800. And if I divide by 3, and that minus 3 value should be loaded to the FD, or the converted hex value is minus 3 nothing but FD. This is another conversion. Minus 2 minus 3 negative value, if I just load it to the positive value, is FD to the th1 value. We can also load the minus 12 to the th1 value. This is also another method. Other way, we can just load the FD. Minus 3 also we can load the decimal value. The x value is FD. See here, the 9600 is minus 3 FD, and 4800 is a minus 6 FA. Here we can remember for the 9600 is FD. Okay, mainly in our all universal communications, we are using this 9600 baud rate. Okay, here we'll discuss about the SBUF register. Okay, right now we'll be mainly discussing about the registers of the serial communication. What are all the important registers? This is the SBUF serial buffer. Okay, it is a 8-bit register. For example, this is a mainly if I want to transmit the data from the microcontroller to external device, always we should place the data onto the SBUF. Then SBUF will take care of the transmission from the microcontroller to the external device. Similarly, if I want to receive the data from the external devices, we should receive through this SBUF register. Okay, here we'll just read the SBUF is the 8-bit register used solely for the serial communication. For byte data be transmitted via TX line, it should be placed SBUF register. For example, if I want to transmit any data from the microcontroller to the external device, we should place to this SBUF register. The moment a byte returned to the SBUF, the frame with the start and stop bit and transferred serially via TX line, and it will be framed with start and stop bit, this 8-bit data, and it will add the one start bit and stop bit, and it will be transmitted from the TXD line. And similarly for the RX also, SBUF holds the byte of data when it is received by the 8051 RxD line. When the bits are received serially via RxD pin, the 8051 deframes it, eliminating the start bit and stop bit, making the byte out of the received data, and then it is placed to the SBUF. See here, mainly if I want to transmit the data, we need to place into the SBUF. Then 8051 automatically add the start and stop bit, and it will transmit via TXD line. Okay, in case of reception, okay, it will deframe the this start and stop bit. Finally, whatever the 8-bit data will be copied to the SBUF. These are mainly working principle of this SBUF. Then we will program how to transmit the data and also how to receive the data. And this is a working of the SBUF register. Next is the SCON register. Here it is a 8-bit register. It is a byte addressable. It is a bit addressable. Okay, here bit or byte addressable, both we can access. Here we can access bitwise or bytewise. This is a byte addressable only, and this is a bit or byte addressable. And SCON is a 8-bit register used to program start bit and stop bit and data bits of data frame, and among data bits of data frame among other things. Okay, here mainly it is a 8-bit register. Okay, here SM0 SM1 is the mode selection. Okay, we'll discuss in the next slide. We have the 4 modes: mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, mode 3 in our serial communication. This SM2 is a multi-processing mode. Okay, here currently this we can make it as 0. We have using the single processing mode. And REN receive enable. For example, if I want to receive the data from externally, this should say, bit should be set to 1. And the TB8 or B8, as we discussed the parity bit, always I am storing it here, the extra bit whatever we discussed here, right? The parity bit always 1. Okay, one extra bit, that's why here this is the TB8 RB8 is the one extra bit in our serial communication. This is a parity bit, we are storing it here, TB8 and RB8, 0 to 7 bits we are transmitting the data. And if I want to use the 8 bit also, we can use this TB8 and RB8. Okay, currently for the parity I am not using it, I am just setting to 00. And TI or this is a transmission interrupt and receiver interrupt. Whenever the successful reception, my RA flag set to 1. Whenever the successful transmission by the microcontroller, this TA flag will set to 1. These two flags set by the hardware. For example, when I am placing the data to the SBUF, once the this data is successfully transmitted, this TA flag rise to 1. Okay, similar way, whenever the successfully received by the SBUF, then this RA flag will be set to 1. Okay, these two flags will set by the hardware. We can also clear, this is the read write flags. We can from the software we can clear these flags. Okay, for example, for the mode selection we can go to the next slide. Here 00 means 8-bit shift register mode. Here the clock always fixed, oscillator divided by 12. And 01 is 8-bit UART and set by the timer 1. Okay, here the mode whatever the baud rate and frequency is set by the timer 1. Okay, here the variable baud rate, here the mode 1 and mode 3 are the variable baud rate, and mode 0 mode 2 are the fixed baud rates. Okay, here always 8-bit UART set by the timer 1. Here the 9-bit mode means always here we are using the parity bit also in case of mode 2 and mode 3. Okay, here always I am using a one start bit and one stop bit in our serial communication. That's why I'm always using this one. Okay, always mode 1 means 01. Okay, I want to just use the for the communication. Okay, I am always using the mode 1. 01 is my mode 1, and this is multi-processing mode. I am setting it as 0. For the receive enable, always we should set to 1. If I want to receive the data, I am always should set to 1. 0101 means 5, and this TB8 RB8 for the parity only we need to use. Otherwise I am just setting to 00 only. And this TA and RA initially I am setting to 0. Whenever the successful transmission, this will set to 1. Whenever successful reception, it will set to 0. It will set to 1. Okay, initially I am making 00. Okay, if, we should initialize with 50. For example, if I want to use the mode 1 we should initialize with 0 0 1 0 1 4 zeros. The lower 4 bits I am filling with 0. And mode 1 means 01 is my mode 1. And this my for the multi processing mode SM2 always I am initializing. REN I am setting to 1. Okay, here always 0x50 is my, always we should load with SCON 0x50. Okay, we should load this SCON with always mode 1 with one start bit and one stop bit with 8 bit. Okay, always we should load with 0x50. Okay, similar way we'll discuss if I want to double the baud rate, mainly this pcon register can be used. Okay, here the SMOD mainly here we'll discuss. Okay, this is the one method for the baud rate calculation. Divide by 3, then I will get the 9600. Then I can directly load this th1 value with -3. This is also one method. The other method, what is the corresponding hex value, also we can load. This is a one method of calculation. Similar way we can calculate using this formula, baud rate equal to 2 power s mod. Okay, currently initially this s mod will be 0. 2 power 0 is 1 divided by 32 is my UART division. This my 12 is my timer division. This my machine cycle division. 12 is my machine cycle division, and 32 is my normally UART division. Okay, here and F oscillator means nothing but 11.0592 megahertz, and 255 minus th1 value. Max value is 255. That's why I'm always subtracting with th1 value. Okay, here if I want to calculate the th1 value, always for example if I want to get that 9600, so that I can calculate the th1 value, we know already the frequency, we know the baud rate. S mod always 0 initially. Okay, for example if I want to double the baud rate, this S mod I can set to 1. For example, if I am setting this one to 1, 2 power 1 is 2. I am multiplying whatever the existing baud rate with 1 into 2. Okay, 9600 multiplied to, I will get the 919200. Similar way 4800 multiplied to 9600. 2400 multiplied to 4800. 1200 multiplied to 2400. Okay, if you see here S mod is 1, divided by 2, our UART is doing divide by 16, and S mod is 0, it is dividing with 32. That's why we are getting this frequency. Due to that we are doubling the completely baud rate based on this frequency as we calculated here, right? Frequency divided by 3, then I am getting the 9600. That -3 value I am loading with th1 value. Okay, here similar way we can calculate using this formula. Okay, if I am just using that S mod is 1, so that I can calculate the corresponding th1 value, so that we can generate the respective baud rate. Okay, here general flag 0, general flag 1 are these two are general flags, and always I am this for the future flags, always I am setting to 00. And here the PD, power down mode. For example, if I want to, normally our power consumption is 5 volts. If I want to reduce to 2 volts, this power down mode can be used. Okay, this is ideal mode if I want to put my processor to the sleep mode, so that I can use this mode. Okay, if I want to reduce the power consumption to the 2 volts, so that I can put my microcontroller to power down mode. These two are power saving modes, and we have, by using this pcon register, we have the power control as well as the baud rate doubling. We have these many facilities in our pcon register. These are mainly working principle of the pcon. Okay, here we'll discuss mainly on the how to program the, if I want to transmit a one character serially, so that we need to program these many steps. First one, always we need to load my tmod with the 8-bit auto reload mode. Okay, always timer one we are using here. See here, th1, always our baud rate depends on the th1 value. That's why I'm always using the tmod register is loaded with the value 20. 20 means 8-bit auto reload mode, timer 1 auto reload mode, mode 2 timer 1 auto reload mode to set the baud rate. And the th1 value should be loaded with the some value to set the baud rate. For example, fd is nothing but 9600. Okay, here I will just load with the fd. Now scon register, as we discussed now, with 50. Okay, here we have loaded with 50. This is a mode 1, and here ren bit I'm setting to 1. Here re1 bit I'm setting to 1. Okay, that's why I'm always selecting with the mode 1 with 8-bit 8-bit, one start bit and stop bit. And we need to start the timer 1. We need to use the tr1 bit and place the data into the sbuf and check the ta flag whether it is raised or not. If it is raised, then we need to our sbuf, whatever the content is successfully transmitted, we need to clear for the next transmission. Okay, here mainly this tmod register we need to initialize with 20, and th1 value, whatever the baud rate, whatever we calculated here, fd I can load it. And the next scon always 50, and I can start the timer and I will place the data. Okay, for example, in case of transmission, first we need to place the data into the sbuf, and after that I can check whether the transmission is completed or not by using this flag. Okay, we have this ta flag. Whenever the successfully transmitted whatever the placed data, then this will be raised to 1. Okay, whenever it is raised to 1, my content is already transmitted, so that I can clear for the next transmission. Okay, similarly I will write the program as we discussed here. Okay, I'm going to write the same program. First we need to initialize the tmod register with the 0x20, nothing but timer 1 mode 2 is the auto reload mode, mode 2 auto reload mode. Okay, next one is scon, we should load with scon equal to 0x50, nothing but 8-bit data, 8-bit data, one start bit, one start bit, one stop bit. Okay, this is just extension of the program. Okay, next here I can load the th1 value before the scon. Th1 equal to 0x fd. Th1 value 0x fd is nothing but 9600 baud rate, 9600. This is my 9600 is my baud rate. Here see, I just loaded with the th1 value with 9600. fd is nothing but 9600. Okay, next after that just initialize the tmod with the 8-bit auto reload mode with the timer 1. And after that I loaded with the this th1 value. Next after that I load with the scon. scon is 0x50, means nothing but 8-bit data, one start bit and another is stop bit. Okay, next scon also loaded with the value, and after that I need to start the timer 1. Okay, tr1 equal to 1 means I started my timer. This is just I have initially all the rest with the 9600 baud rate, and I started with the my timer is started. Now I can place the data to the sbuf. If I want to transmit the data, here I am just writing the while of one loop. I want to transmit the data cyclically infinite times. That's why I am writing this open and close. Okay, here while of one I am writing within this loop I am writing. Here I am placing the data to the sbuf. Sbuf equal to, here I am just placing a character a, nothing but 41. 41 I am placing. I placed the data, and I need to check whether my transmission is completed or not. Okay, here I am just checking my ta flag. Okay, whenever my transmission is completed, then automatically this flag set by the controller to 1. Okay, until 1 I am waiting here, and after that I should clear the flag for the next transmission. Okay, here as per the program steps I was written here. Okay, here see, I just place the data in this step. I place the data, and here I need to monitor the ta flag. Whenever the ta flag set to 1, nothing but my transmission is completed. If it is 0, I am always waiting here. If it is 1, this will be set by the hardware. Whenever it is 1, my whatever the placed data is successfully transmitted. I'm just waiting here. Once it is successfully transmitted, and I'm going to the next step, I'm clearing the 0 to the next transmission. For the next transmission, this will be done by the software. Clearing will be done by the software and set by the hardware. Okay, this is the mainly just program for the transmission. Okay, similarly we'll build and we'll generate the executable, and once the executable is generated we can just flash it here. Okay, here I will just remove the lcd. Why? Because this 0 and 3.1 pin we are using for the communication. That's why I just removed the lcd. Okay, here I can connect the virtual terminal is my serial communication. Okay, this tx pin I should connect to the rx. Similar, this tx pin I can connect to the rx. Okay, this is a reverse connection. If microcontroller is transmitting, our terminal is receiving. This is nothing but our pc, and here this is transmitting, I should receive. Okay, this is the just communication connection, and just I will flash, will check whether we are able to receive the same this continuously a value or not on the onto the this terminal 11.0592. Okay, in case of serial communication we should change this frequency always 11.0592 megahertz, and I should select the same executable as we generated now. Then I have the same executable 11 1036, and just I am running with the same executable, and I should transmit the a always infinite times. Okay, as we written the program while of one is infinite times, I'm just placing the a value, and I'm checking whether it is transmitted or not. If it is transmitted, I'm just clearing for the next transmission, and again I will place the a, and I will check whether a is transmitted or not. If transmitted, I'm clearing. Okay, this will continue forever infinite times. That's why for infinite times I'm transmitting value way. This is my output of the program. And similar way, if I want to write for the reception, and all the program steps are same, only the these steps are different. Okay, here we need to check the whether it is completely received or not. If it is received, we need to place the data to the particular register, and after that we need to clear the register content. Okay, if, in case of this for the tx program, now I am going to write for the rx program. Okay, the baud rate is always same, and the whatever the reception is different. Here I need to check the whether it is received successfully or not. Whenever this flag set by the hardware to 1 means successfully received. Okay, until successful reception I am waiting here. Until successful reception I am waiting it here. Okay, once it is received, I am going to available data at the sbuf. Okay, I am going to copy to the port 1. Port 1, I am just copying the data, whatever the received data I am copying. Okay, whenever this ra flag is 1, I am going to the next step. If the ra flag is 0, there is no successful reception. Until successful reception I am waiting here. Once it is received, I am just copying to the port 1, and here I am clearing for the next reception. Okay, this is only the change in the reception. Okay, just I'm building the thing. I'm just getting okay, here this just for the comment I written. Okay, just I have executed my executable, and right now I'm just flash the same executable with the same frequency, and just now I am executing with the same one. Okay, here I need to transmit some data that should be visible here, right, in port 1. Okay, I will take some leds. Whatever the received data, a means 41 I should receive, right? The similar way I can take the leds, group of leds. I will check whether my 41 value is received or not. Okay, here I am just taking the green leds, a group of leds. Okay, here port 1 I am connecting to the here, and port 1.0, port 1.1, port 1.2 should connect to here, port 1.3, port 1.4, port 1.5, port 1.6, port 1.7. Next, the right side completely we can connect to the ground terminal, ground, and similar way just we can connect to the grounds. Okay, now if I just transmit from the PC, I should receive the data using this program. I should transmit to the this port. This port 1 I should transmit the data. I should place the data across the port 1. Okay, if you see the, if you understand the program, once the successfully received from the other node, okay, the other node nothing but PC, from the PC I'm transmitting the data. Once it is received successfully, I'm just copying the data to the port 1. For example, if I just transmit the A character from the external PC to the, from the terminal to the PC, then the A value should be written here. A is nothing but 0x41. 0x41 means 0100 and 0001. Okay, this value should be observed across the port. If I just transmit the value B, then I should see 42 value. Okay, similarly we'll check whether same data is coming or not. Okay, here I am just executing the thing. Here this is the terminal, we can give the data here from the keypad. I'm typing capital A now, and my port data should be set to 41. Initially my all the port pins are logic 1, that's why all the LEDs are glown now. Okay, if I just send the 41, nothing but only the 41 should be displayed. Here I'm just sending the character A, nothing but 41. Only the 0100 and 0001, only second LED and last LED should be glown. Okay, if I am just giving the capital A now from the keyboard, okay, see now it is 41. Capital A I have given, that is received by the microcontroller. What is the received data placed across this port 1? Similarly, if I type the B and 42 means this is a second LED, here also this second LED, from the last to second this second LED. 42 means this second LED, here this should enable. If I'm just sending capital B now, see 42 nothing but 0 0 1 double 0 0 0 1 0. Okay, nothing but 42 is displayed. Okay, this is a nothing but whatever the received data, this is a program for, I'm just waiting until one successful reception. I'm just copying the data to port 1. Whatever the received current data, I'm just copying to port 1. This is a mainly program for the RX. Okay, similarly we written for the TX also. Okay, this is for the RX program, just we need to remember. Okay, just I will copy the RX program and I will go for the TX also. How we written for the TX? Okay, this is for the TX program. TX program, this for the RX program. Just we want to just check first. In case of TX, we should place the data to the SBUF and check whether successfully whether this A is transmitted or not. If successfully transmitted, then I am just clearing this TA flag. This for the transmission. Okay, first we need to place the data. After that we need to check whether it is successfully transmitted or not. If transmitted, clear. Okay, this for the transmission. In case of reception, first we need to check whether the successfully the data is received to the SBUF or not. If RA flag to set to 1, my I received the successfully data. Otherwise I will wait here only. Okay, once the data is received, I am just copying to the port 1 and I am clearing for the next reception. This is a mainly working principle of the communication. Okay, here I am just setting the baud rate only the once. Here see, I am just initializing the baud rate once, then it will be forever. Okay, to the until successful communication, always I am just loaded with this baud rate. Okay, the always baud rate should be set only the once, this will be retained forever. This is a mainly working principle of the serial communication. Okay, thank you friends, thank you for watching.